Happy Friday, and here we are for another session of Fashion Flair Friday. I always notice that it takes a while for people to come on, and so I always hate to start my conversation talking to a blank screen, if you will. So I'm going to hang here just for a minute until I see some people joining me. And I would love to make sure that you say hello. Go ahead and just comment and say, "Hi, Marion," or something like that so that I know you're here. That would help me a lot. I know I ask you to do that every week. And some of you are more timid than others, but please say hello. And today we're going to be talking about the topic of texture. Now, I personally think that the secret to good style choices is really to learn to make the most of what you have. And I hope you look at what you have in most cases as assets. Okay. So, how do you make the most of your assets? And part of the asset, what do I want to say? The things that make up our assets can be our entire body, or it can be our face, or it can be our hair, or it can be our small waist, or whatever the case may be for you. So, think about what are the things that you really enjoy about yourself. Now, I'm just going to check here on my phone and make sure that we are live. I'm not seeing that yet, but I'm trusting that we are. And if we are, okay, very good. You're here, Marcia. Wonderful. Just had cataract surgery. Oh my goodness. Well, we are of that age, aren't we? Yes, I have had cataract surgery as well, and it's so wonderful to be able to see, isn't it? Things are brighter, or they will be. Things are brighter and intense, and then after about 10 years it starts going back downhill a little bit. So just to kind of warn you. Anyway, where was I was talking about assets. So I want each and every person that is listening today to really think about the fact that you do have assets. There are parts of you that are, and maybe all of you, gorgeous, beautiful, but I know that most women don't think about themselves in that way. But think about, what is something on your body that you just love? So, as I was saying, is it your hair? Is it your eyes? Is it your let's say bust line, or your waistline, or let's say long slim legs, all of the kinds of things. And the idea is to really begin to appreciate that part of you, because when you appreciate your assets, guess what happens? It becomes easier for you to want to clothe or to call attention to that asset. So identify your assets, write them down, and just appreciate them. Now, when I do my trainings, I always like to teach the 5 elements that it takes to create your best looks. And those five elements are line, shape, color, texture, and pattern. So last week, Marcia, who is here today, actually made a suggestion. And I forget exactly how you phrased it, Marcia. I think you said something about, I invited you to ask what you'd like me to talk about. And she said, how about if you talk about what fabrics go with your skin? So that I said, okay, great, because away from texture, because again, they want to look smaller, like most women do. So they don't like to wear a lot of texture, because texture, by the way, adds bulk to the body. Women that have a more skeletal body, that are thin or lanky or very athletic, these are the people that do gravitate to texture because it adds some dimension. Now, the other thing, however, is I really want you to think about looking at the texture in your body. So, not your style, personality, not the size of your body, but look at the texture both in the hair and the face. Let's start right there. So, let me give you an example. So, here, where I showed you this having a more casual style, but look at the texture in her hair. The texture that is windblown, number one, also is cut in a way that it just absolutely flows and also has highlights that give the hair some texture in its look. So this is the kind of person, because she's got the texture in her hair, that would definitely enjoy texture in her clothing. Now, you can also see that her skin tone is very smooth. So she really is a combination of smooth skin, textured hair, and she's somebody that really can go either direction depending on her mood. Here is a woman, very smooth skin, right? And very smooth hair. And yet, look at what she's wearing. She's wearing a very textured sweater. So when I look at this picture, the first thing that I see when I look at this picture is I go to the sweater. I see the texture and I almost miss her beautiful face. So that is when this is a case where we don't have the right texture on the right individual. But here's a picture of her. Okay, her hair is pulled back in this particular picture, but again, smooth hair, smooth skin, smooth texture on that sweater. And you can just see how she now becomes integral to the whole look, to her best look. So I want you to think about, what do you have going on with your hair and your skin? So I'll use myself as an example. So even though my hair is fairly smooth in its styling, because it is salt and pepper, because I'm letting it grow out, that automatically adds some what I call patterned smoothness. So it gives my hair a little bit of texture. So there are things that we would call plain smoothness, which is this woman's hair and this woman's skin, very plain and very smooth. And then there's somebody like me who's got patterned smoothness, both in my hair as well as in my face, because guess what? My age now, I'm starting to get, my marionette lines. I'm starting to get the little brown spots on my face. I don't have freckles. I don't have any scarring from acne or anything like that. But those would be other ways that you might have this texture on your face. So the idea is that you want to match your clothing to your texture of your hair and your skin primarily. So Marcia made the comment the other day, what something about, you know, wearing satin on an older face. And that is exactly the point I'm trying to make. So when you try and wear something that you are not, it really calls attention to maybe something that you don't want to call attention to. So that smooth satin fabric would definitely call attention to maybe the shading or the wrinkles or some of the freckles or the acne scars or whatever the case is on the body, because it is not working with the body, it's actually working against the body. So I want you to really pay attention now and identify, do you think that your hair is plain smoothness? Do you think your skin or your hair is plain smoothness? Is your skin plain smoothness? Or do you have more of that patterned smoothness? Or are you somebody that just has a lot of texture, curly hair, kinky hair? That's just full on, all over textured. So your three options again are plain smoothness, pattern smoothness, which means it's visually textured, or all over textured, and identify that. So I'm going to show you some other examples of things that work and don't work. You've seen this model before. Again, smooth skin, smooth hair, and yet wearing a very textured jacket. So I would rather see her in something that doesn't have as much texture, that is more smooth, like she is. This woman has smooth skin, but she again has what? She's got that texture in the hair. You can see it in the wave. Now she's got on a very smooth jacket, which works back to the skin very nicely. She has a dress on that is smooth, but it's patterned, so it creates that pattern smoothness, and so that works back to the hair. So these are little subtle things that you probably don't even realize when you're choosing clothes, when you're in the stores or you're online. But these are some of the things that once you get things in your closet and you put them on and then you take them back off, you might want to ask yourself, could it be that the pattern or the texture just isn't right for my personal asset that I have? Um, so the tip I have for you is that you want to go ahead and select the same textural patterns in the fabrics of your clothing that you have in what I call your body signature. That is going to be a perfect fit. So yes, there are four other elements. You know, as I said, there's line, there's shape, there's color, and there's also the pattern. But today I just wanted to give you some tips about texture and see whether um, that might be an issue for you. Here's another example of a knit garment that is a very smooth knit. And so let's see here. Her hair, if it weren't pinned up on top of her head and was just hanging down, it would be pretty smooth. So that would work. The fact that she's got it pinned up and it's kind of sticking out all over the place there, that's a little bit contrary to the outfit. Then let's see. This woman, I don't know if you can see the cape that she has on is a wool cape and it's got some heathering, so some gray and some white. So there is some patterned smoothness right there. And if we look at her hair, you're seeing that there is smoothness to the hair, but there is some patterning going on because of the highlights in the hair. So that actually works very well with her. I don't particularly love the color on her, but in terms of texture and quality of texture, that does work for her. Here is a woman that this is a chiffon top overlaid, and so it's a very smooth fabric, but the pattern gives it some texture. And I don't see a whole lot of texture in her personal hair or skin, but I do think the high contrast of that pattern with the high contrast of her hair pulled back is lovely. So I'm going to go with the fact that, you know, she's got the smoothness of the chiffon that really works back to the smoothness of the skin and smoothness of the hair. So let me just take a peek and see if I've got any questions here. Oops, let's see here. Diane, you're all over textured. Well, I know for certain your hair is textured, not sure about the skin, but I believe you. So some of you are saying that you lost the signal. I don't know why, but hopefully you're back with me. Hi, Patty. Good to see you here. Patty is in my Empowered Style program right at the moment, and I'm certainly enjoying having you. Patty, you're a great joy and a great contributor. Um, and Patty, you might want to take a look at later. Click on her picture because she said she loves her hair, and she has got great hair. It's patterned, it's gray, a salt and pepper. It's a little bit choppy, and it is great. So I don't see any questions. For those of you that lost the signal, try to rewatch if you want to. Hopefully, it's all there for you. Let's see. What I wanted to just say is that if you have an interest, I mentioned the Empowered Style program, it's a 3-month program. If any of you have an interest, go ahead and direct message me. I am taking names for a wait list for the program that I'll be repeating sometime this summer. I don't have the date set yet, but if you have an interest in knowing more or you want to talk to me about it, just go ahead and, in direct message, just say Marian waitlist or Marian Empowered Style. I want to talk to you. And that would be great. I keep the class really small. Between 3 and 5 people is all I take in the course. And it's a course that includes 7 trainings. It includes 5 coaching calls, group coaching calls, and it includes 3 one-on-one sessions with me. So depending on where you are in your style progress, if this is something that you think you could benefit from to continue to learn more about how to put a style together that truly represents you and that you love and that brings you alive. That's what I love doing. I love teaching and assisting and guiding. So that is it for now. Marcia says, I have great nails. I think you have more than great nails, my dear. But thank you for the humor for today. And I'll look forward to seeing all of you again back here next Friday. And just like Marcia did, if you've got a topic that you would like me to talk about, go ahead and make sure you comment somewhere on this page so that I can find your comment, and I would be happy to accommodate any one of you that has an interest in a particular topic. So that's it for today. Happy Friday, happy spring, and I'll see you back here next week for another edition of Fashion Flair Friday. Bye-bye now.